the station working for you. This is WRTV News at 11, streaming now.
Tomorrow marks 1 week until Election Day. More early voting sites are now open in Indiana's most populated county. But the wait times are literally hours long, while in some other counties, voters are in and out. WRTV's Cameron Riddle is working for you to find out why.
In the rain, in the cold, wife complaining.
This is one of the shorter lines, and people are they're just happy to be here and getting a chance to vote.
In the cold and pouring rain tonight, Hoosiers spent up to 2 hours waiting to vote at the city-county building. We caught up with Joe Bailey at the halfway point.
I pray that we don't have to stand in line for, 4 years from now like this.
The long line twisting through Luger Plaza at the city-county building is one of 6 locations where Marion County residents can now vote early. Some delays are expected as poll workers try to keep voters safe from the spread of COVID-19. But there are concerns that lines running as long as 7 hours are a form of voter suppression.
I hope that the next 4 years that this is a sign that, it's not going to stop us, but make it easier for us to vote. If voting didn't matter, then we wouldn't do this. So don't stop. Don't try to suppress our vote.
In central Indiana, wait times to vote have varied by county and depend on population. Just east of Indianapolis, census data shows 78,000 people live in Hancock County and are served by 5 early voting locations. To the north, Hamilton County has 8 early voting locations for 338,000 people. That's 2 more locations to vote than in Marion County, which has a population of 964,000. That's roughly 3 times more residents in Marion County than in Hamilton County.
It's still ridiculous.
So who is behind the decision when it comes to early voting? The Indiana Secretary of State's office tells me the number of early voting locations is determined by the county. There is no state law limiting a county's ability to open early voting locations. So, in other words, they can have as many voting centers as they want. Voters hope they aren't standing in lines like this for the next big election.
Societies do advance to, be standing in long lines. I expect this in a third world country, not in this country.
Cameron Riddle, WRTV.
Today, additional voting machines were added to the early voting site at the City County Council building to speed up the process. WRTV has reached out to the Marion County Clerk's office to learn more about how it determined where to open early voting locations. We will let you know when we hear back. But we do know that the Marion County will have 188 vote centers open on Election Day. And to find polling locations, key dates, deadlines, information about the candidates on your ballot, and much more, go to the Vote in 2020 section of our website, WRTV.com. And now to the forecast. Rain continues to move across parts of central Indiana. Chief Meteorologist Kevin Gregory joins us now. Hey, Kevin.
And that rain will stick around in spots during the day tomorrow. I don't think it'll be as widespread as what we have tonight, Amanda. This is a work in progress. Our monthly rainfall total, 4.18. I think we'll have our most significant contribution coming up on Thursday. The showers continue while you sleep, especially south and east of Indy. Below average temperatures all week, and that threat for heavier rain as we get to Thursday. The showers, some of them too light to show up on radar, some mist, drizzle, and some fog. Steady light rain starting to push away to the south and east. During the day tomorrow, the showers around, they'll be light and kind of hit and miss. Temperatures, they struggle. A day in the 40s. We'll spend most of the afternoon in the middle to upper 40s for the high. We'll talk about our warmest day ahead, and that's, modest warmth, and the impact of Hurricane Zeta on Indiana coming up.
A new form of oversight into IMPD policies and practices is a done deal. Approved by the City County Council and signed by Mayor Hogsett, Proposal 237 adds 4 civilians to the Police Department's General Orders Board. But who those civilians are was a big point of contention during debate over the proposal. WRTV's Cornelia Socker has been pushing for answers about the group that will have an impact on future law enforcement policies.
Pastor Richard Reynolds with Faith in Indiana is hopeful the 4 community members picked to be on the Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department's General Orders Board will come from diverse backgrounds.
We want this governance board to be a reflection of the city of Indianapolis. It should reflect the diversity that is in our community.
Those 4 community members, along with 3 IMPD officers, will oversee police policies and practices, helping to review and make changes when necessary. 2 of the civilians will be selected by the City County Council. The expansion of the board goes into effect on January 1st, so I asked 2 of the counselors behind the proposal how the process will work. Counselor Krista Carlino didn't have time to talk to me for this particular story, but Counselor Keith Potts got back to me and said the process of picking civilian members for the board is going to take weeks, if not months. But once that process is in place, he will share that with me. While we wait, Pastor Reynolds wants the community to know, especially those who weren't for the proposal, that it should be seen as a way to build trust between citizens and the police force.
It really is about partnership. It really is about working with the police. It's not anti-police in any way. We really want to support our police department and help the Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department be one of the best in the country.
Working for you, Cornelius Hawker, WRTV.
We're also waiting to hear back from the mayor's office about the 2 civilian members Mayor Hogsett will choose to sit on the General Orders Board and what that process will be like. Last week, however, the mayor did announce that the final proposal he signed ensures the police chief has a say in any policy changes. The New York Police Department is offering a reward of up to $2,500 for information leading to an arrest and indictment in a shooting that killed an IU student from Indianapolis. The parents of 20-year-old Ethan Williams say a stray bullet struck him early Saturday morning in Brooklyn. They say he was visiting the city with friends for the first time. Williams graduated from Franklin Central High School and was a member of the Indianapolis Mayor's Youth Leadership Council. His parents and friends say he was passionate about finding solutions to poverty and violence in Indianapolis. And now to the latest on the pandemic in Indiana. 3,907 deaths in the state are now blamed on COVID-19. The 7-day positivity rate among unique individuals is 13.3%. And 2,009 new positive cases were reported over the weekend. Since the start of the pandemic, more than 5,000 cases have been reported at Indiana schools since classes resumed for the fall semester. Most of those have been among students. And keep in mind, nearly 500 schools have not reported their data to the State Department of Health. With many schools doing virtual learning, there are some concerns that students with disabilities will fall behind. A local educator and student have created a resource to provide extra support. Nadine Gilkison is the Franklin Township Schools Technology Integration Supervisor and is in charge of all e-learning. She's also the mother of 2 dyslexic children.
Once I learned that my kids had dyslexia and I started delving into different resources, I quickly discovered that there is very much an inequity. If you are someone who has the means, you can get private tutoring and so on for your children. And of course, the educator in me, I started rapidly thinking of, well, what about if you don't have those things?
Nadine teamed up with Braden Gaugus, an 11th grader at Franklin Central High School, who has been coding since grade school. The two worked together to create an app called a blending board. It helps students with dyslexia sound out syllables and improve reading through what's called a blending board using stacks of cards.
I want to make sure that people know that resources are out there for anyone, regardless of your background, regardless of your socioeconomic status. As I said, it shouldn't matter, what level that you're at.
I think it's a great resource, not just for dyslexic people, but anyone that's looking to read or work on English sounds.
The app is for all ages and grade levels. For other free resources, go to dyslexicmindset.com. A locally owned restaurant in downtown Indianapolis will close tomorrow. Burger Study on Georgia Street opened in 2017. Officials say the restaurant was designed to rely on office workers, business travelers, sporting events, conventions, and concerts. The current economic conditions make staying open unsustainable. Burger Study is owned by Hughes Culinary, which also owns St. Elmo's and Harry and Izzy's. Places that provide free food to people in need are also struggling. The pandemic is creating many hurdles for food banks. Of course, the demand has skyrocketed, but supply is also an issue. John Elliott, the CEO of Gleaners Food Bank, tells WRTV low inventory at grocery stores means some pantries have lost their top source of donations. The pandemic also means food banks are toward the back of the line with food companies, as those companies try to fulfill the orders of retailers, wholesalers, catering businesses, and more.
What has historically been our largest single source of food, donated food, is retail surplus. And at the start of the pandemic, that stopped. And part of that also is what we hope is a temporary loss of significant discounts from food companies. As they sold food to us, they typically gave us a large price break on wholesale so we could stretch the dollars and get more food with the dollars we had. Well, they can't do those discounts now.
Elliott says before the pandemic, Gleaners would typically spend between $10,000 to $12,000 on food per week. Now the cost ranges from $700,000 to $800,000 per week. For a more in-depth report on this issue, including how you can help, go to WRTV.com and click on this story. Coming up, what's next now that the Senate has confirmed Indiana Judge Amy Coney Barrett to the Supreme Court? Indiana Judge Amy Coney Barrett is poised to take a second oath on Tuesday and officially join the Supreme Court bench. The Senate confirmed her nomination tonight. ABC's Faith Abube is on Capitol Hill with details on the historic vote.
The nomination of Amy Coney Barrett of Indiana to be an Associate Justice of the Supreme Court of the United States is confirmed.
And with that, Senate Republicans cemented a 6-3 conservative majority on the U.S. Supreme Court, a vote that makes Amy Coney Barrett only the 5th woman to serve on the nation's highest court.
This is one of the most brilliant, admired, and well-qualified nominees in our lifetime.
Democrats fighting the process all the way till the very end, arguing it's too close to the election and threatens the future of the Affordable Care Act, civil and abortion rights.
The American people will suffer the consequences of Judge Barrett's far-right, out-of-the-mainstream views for generations.
Soon after the confirmation vote, newly minted Justice Barrett and several prominent Republicans headed to the White House for an outdoor swearing-in ceremony.
Justice Barrett made clear she will issue rulings based solely upon a faithful reading of the law and the Constitution as written, not legislate from the bench.
Justice Clarence Thomas on hand to administer one of 2 oaths of office Barrett needs to take before beginning her duties on the High Court.
I, Amy Coney Barrett, do solemnly swear.
One of her first cases, a provision of the Affordable Care Act before the court just a week after the election.
The oath that I have solemnly taken tonight means at its core that I will do my job without any fear or favor, and that I will do so independently of both the political branches and of my own preferences.
And soon after the vote, a few progressive Democrats took to Twitter with 3 words: expand the courts. Joe Biden has said if he wins in November, he plans to appoint a commission to study any changes to the U.S. Supreme Court. Faith Abube, ABC News, Capitol Hill.
Now to the forecast. Here's a live look outside from our tower camera. Well, tomorrow will be another rainy, chilly day. Kevin joins us now with our forecast. Hey, Kevin.
You could grab a bright umbrella with lots of colors. That'll brighten the day tomorrow. I don't think we'll see a solid area of rain, but another gray day like today. The more substantial day of rain will come on Thursday. Let's talk about our national weather story for a second. You'll start to hear more about Hurricane Zeta, which very well may make landfall around New Orleans, somewhere the Louisiana coast to the Texas Panhandle. late Wednesday, then curved northeast. So staying southeast of central Indiana, but another weather system will grab hold of some of that moisture, increase the rain chance across central Indiana. 7 a.m. Thursday, southern half of the state with rain. That lifts north, including all of the RTV6 viewing area as we get to the evening hour. Some of that heavier Thursday night into Friday morning. By Friday morning, starting to move off to the south and east. I just want to show you two different forecast models. One has a good 2 to 3 inches of rain from I-70 south. North of that, generally 1 to 2 inches of rain. Here's another forecast model which kind of lowers all expectations, but still that's a widespread rain of 1 inch or more expected on a Thursday, and that would boost us well over 5 inches for the month. 49 with showers tomorrow, another shockingly cool October day. That chance for showers 30%. Wednesday, a dry day, a nice little break before that rain comes back Thursday, and it will be accompanied by wind gusting to 30 miles per hour. During the day tomorrow, again, don't look for lots of sunshine. We'll battle the clouds, a few showers. Temperatures stay below the average high of 62. That's from north to south. On Wednesday, a little bit of sunshine pokes through. Temperature warms as a result, plus a change in wind direction. We'll be up to 58 in Indianapolis for the high. Could hit 60 in Bloomington and Columbus. As we go to Thursday, it becomes the wind and rain that tells the story as those remnants of the tropical system impact the Hoosier state. Then we get to a busy weekend. Halloween Saturday, dry. Saturday night, a full moon. You also need to fall back, set the clock back 1 hour as you drift off to sleep, and then temperatures for the second half of the weekend about the same, but we're still dry with some Sunday sunshine. So a decent weekend. We just have to get there. Amanda?
Thank you, Kevin. A Ready for Winter grant program in Marion County will start accepting applications on Friday. The goal is to help restaurants, bars, and other venues pay for supplies to continue outdoor dining in the coming months. Eligible businesses can be reimbursed up to $2,500 for expenses related to winter preparedness. Holiday travel is right around the corner, and some hotels are offering good deals to offset the effects of the pandemic. And more companies are offering a subscription for travel. Lindsay Bosch shows you how it works.
As we near the end of October, Thanksgiving is less than a month away. Hanukkah and Christmas are both in less than 2 months. And a lot of hotels are taking note. Paula Twidell with AAA says some are offering deep discounts.
You're seeing things like perhaps 15, 20, 25% off hotels in certain regions to entice people to make that commitment, and also flexible terms and conditions.
She says right now hotels are up at about a 50% capacity, and some companies are finding new ways to keep people traveling.
We've never had nearly as busy a fall travel season as we have right now. Not even close. We've been basically sold out in every mountain town in the U.S. Since August.
Brent Handler is the founder and CEO of Inspirato, a subscription-based luxury travel company.
It works like Rent the Runway or the original Netflix subscription worked, where as soon as you check out, you can book your next trip. So you can have one reservation at a time.
Through Inspirato Pass, travelers have access to hundreds of destinations around the world. No nightly rates, taxes, or fees.
Families will, take one of our houses in Cabo for a month. Or families will move to Aspen for 2 months.
But not everyone is ready to travel just yet. Handler says about half of his clients aren't traveling at all.
The other half is saying, I'm traveling more than I normally would. I have this opportunity. It might be once in a lifetime. I'm working from home. I normally go into an office. I'm going to, travel 10 times in the next, 4 or 5 months.
It may entice people that if they're going to work remote, they may as well do it in a nice location.
And for those holiday trips, Twidell says about 2/3 of Americans will travel by the end of this year.
It's not a matter of if people will travel, it's a matter of when they feel comfortable, when they feel safe to do so.
I'm Lindsay Boach reporting.
IndyCar is already thinking about big plans and big names for 2021. The 2020 season wrapped up yesterday after almost not happening at all. WRTV's Brad Brown is in Florida with what fans can expect next year.
On the marina in downtown St. Petersburg, Florida, a picture-perfect setting for the final race of the 2020 IndyCar Series season. This saw Joseph Newgarden win the race and Scott Dixon clinch his 6th IndyCar Series championship. Quite the way to close out what has surely been a memorable year. You might remember back to the second week of March when we were here, when this was supposed to be the opening race of the 2020 season. The pandemic canceled it, and at one point we thought there would be no IndyCar racing at all. But a monumental effort by the series, the race promoters, the teams, these drivers, the sponsors, to put together a 14-race schedule that ultimately culminated with the championship won by Dixon here on Sunday. Looking ahead now to 2021, what is in store? Well, there's a new race on the calendar, some new drivers on the grid, and a lot more to keep the momentum toward the next green flag moving forward. As the sun sets on the 2020 IndyCar season, the focus turns toward 2021. There's a little bit of something old, something new on the schedule this year. It will once again be a true test of driving skill, with only the very best contending for the championship.
We kind of cut our teeth. Part of our DNA is ovals, but now street races are a big part of what we do. And they provide great branding, great exposure, international exposure for the cities where we have street races. And they turn into, as has been said, much more than races.
The biggest headline of the summer came from Nashville. The Music City Grand Prix will make its debut, featuring a street course that will not only go around the Tennessee Titans Stadium, but will race the bridge over the Cumberland River.
You know, Nashville's always going to provide great music. The food scene has gotten better. But to be able now to layer in the best drivers in the world, the best teams in the world, we can truly create something that moves the event needle in this town and state for the next 30 years.
We already see Nissan Stadium as a world-class sports and entertainment venue, but we believe there's a next level, and we're going to be working hard to achieve that next level over the next decade or so, and something like the Music City Grand Prix is just pitch perfect.
The IMS Road Course will get an encore show again. The pairing of IndyCar and NASCAR was largely a success this past 4th of July, so the two series will be teaming up for an epic weekend in mid-August.
I think people are excited about it only because they know that the Xfinity race was so good this year, so hopefully they think that'll carry over to the Cup side. And then, most importantly, have an IndyCar and Cup and Xfinity at the same track on the same weekend. We're looking forward to that.
And don't look past new drivers on the grid. Australian Supercars champ Scott Mclaughlin will be driving full-time for Team Penske. He made his debut Sunday in St. Pete. And 7-time NASCAR Series champion Jimmy Johnson is getting ready for his IndyCar debut. He'll be racing only on road and street courses with Chip Ganassi Racing. The 45-year-old will be a rookie once again in the IndyCar lineup.
We all do recognize that I have a very steep learning curve ahead of myself with new cars, tracks, people. So I think, you know, it's going to be a very steep learning curve for me to deal with. But I love a good challenge, and I'm really excited to start this next chapter in my motorsports career.
In case you're wondering, Johnson will indeed drive the number 48 car for Chip Ganassi Racing next season. Carvana was introduced this weekend as one of the primary sponsors for that car. Most of the teams that were here this weekend and some of the new drivers, Johnson expected to be among them, will begin their work for 2021 just a week from now. There'll be an IndyCar test session at Barber Motorsports Park in Alabama as the work starts to continue for this new season. And then it's just 4.5 months to the countdown to that new campaign. In fact, we'll be right back here in St. Pete, the season opener on the schedule for March 7th of 2021. Fingers crossed everything stays on the calendar and we can look forward to more exciting racing in the year ahead. In St. Petersburg, Florida, Brad Brown, WRTV Sports.
Obviously, on a normal day, temperatures would rise fairly quickly from the morning low, but notice 6 a.m. 42, 11 a.m. 43, and our high tomorrow with a couple of showers, only in the upper 40s. Amanda?
Grab that jacket. Thanks for making WRTV your choice for news. Good night.